Welcome to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, presented by Yamaha.
Welcome back to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, everyone. Captain Rick Murphy and myself, Brie Gabrielle, are very excited to guide you through an entire show focused on hunting. It's a little bittersweet though, isn't it?
It is, Brie.
God.
The last show until next year.
Sad. I know. Okay, but before we go any further, let's say hi to Dave Ferrell at the Jägermeister Workbench and our two very special guests, Ali Hobson and Drummond from Florida Outdoor Experience. Hi, guys. Hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
You guys are so camo.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna be knocking stuff down instead of pulling it up.
Way to
I like it, Dave. I like it.
Way to dress for the occasion, guys. Okay, Rick, so getting on with business, I'm not too savvy when it comes to hunting, just because I've never had the opportunity, but apparently if you fish, there's a pretty good chance you hunt too.
Especially if you love to sight fish, Brie. Hunting and sight fishing have a lot in common, as well as bow hunting and fly fishing. But we have Gray here, actually with a beautiful deer down and working through the woods, and certainly stalking deer in the state of Florida. This was a deer that I shot up at the Bass Assassin Private Ranch. Wow. Gray is an excellent bow hunter, but we shoot out of tree stands quite often. So this is a great example of what it's like. My buddy Ridge, certainly a nice big deer, again, that he shot up in Mayo. And we also not only hog hunt, but we also bird hunt here in the state of Florida, which actually opens next weekend. So it's really gonna be awesome, a good season, and looks like I'm excited about this show.
I'm excited too. I think I'm gonna get to hunt here in November.
Okay.
Woohoo!
We'll make sure that happens.
Okay. Well, guys, for the first report of the 2014 season, we bring you Captain Jeff Hageman from the Northwest region, who's quite the hunter, I hear. Impress us, Hag.
We've got some great hunting in our region. Some of the best in the state, from whitetails to hogs, great turkey hunting. The Florida record deer was actually killed in our region in Green Swamp, so that's right here in our region. For public property, you want to look for the MWA or contact the FWC for more info. For a private outfitter, less pressure on their land, contact Drummond. He's going to be talking to you guys later. Florida Outdoor Experience in our region, from hogs, whitetail, gators, tons of turkeys. Also, we've got Dixie Sportsman Hunting Preserve, which has got exotics on it, like African Plains game, elk, buffalo, Seca deer, fallow deer. You can hunt both these places year-round. It's a great little break in between fishing season. So both of those places have lodges and guides, so you don't have to travel outside of Florida to go kill some great animals. We've also, like Rick was talking about, got great duck hunting, dove hunting, and quail hunting in our region as well. If you're a first-time hunter and you want to learn a little bit more about Florida hunting, a couple of the archery shop, Jonathan down at the archery shop in my region will guide you through any questions you might have. And for more information, you want to contact FWC.com for rules and regs. And there's some special permit hunts on WMA land, so you can contact them as well for that. And I got a couple of great pictures from Florida Outdoor Experience. I got a good turkey photo there.
That's a great photo, Hag. Great photo.
And then we got a nice hog we shot also up at Florida Outdoor Experience at Gray's place, which he's going to be talking to you guys about later.
All right, so go ahead and tell us about the red fishing, bub.
We got great red fishing right now throughout our region. Fish right now on the top and bottom of the tide are producing some great size upper slot fish and some slot fish. Live and cut bait are both working well. Top waters on the high tide, like the skitterwalk and that mossback color and that Halloween color. I'm not sure that Halloween, if that's the right color, but it's black back, orange belly. That one's a really good color right now. It's been working really well. Also spoons, and like I said, cutting my bait's working really well. Moving offshore.
Wait. Before you go offshore, I want to take a look at the navionics from your region. And guys, we're talking about the Swanee River up in the north, up where the Panhandle starts now. The cool part about this, I talked to Robin from Bass Assassin, a place where he loves to fish a lot. And what he was telling us is this time of year, all of these little tiny creeks have bass and redfish in them. And as you get towards the mouth, out towards the Gulf, what you're gonna find is more redfish. And as the tide pushes in and pushes more salt water, the fish have a tendency to move up and around all these oyster bars. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about going and fishing in the Swanee River area, that you can actually be bass fishing as well as catching redfish depending on what the tide is doing. All right, Hag, why don't you go ahead and tell us about what's going on offshore in your region?
The grouper bite right now has been on fire for both red and gag. anywhere from 60 feet of water to 110 feet of water, depending on what part of my region, since my region's so big. You want to look at rock piles, Swiss cheese bottoms, cut sardines right now, and pinfish are the baits of choice. Standard bottom rigs is what you want to use. This is a great time of year with the amount of fish out there right now to look for new spots. So when you're out there, you go into your GPS numbers. You might want to take a little time and spend a little time looking. You're going to see a lot of fish on the bottom machine right now. And these fish are going to be supporting any given structure. So most of them are with the less conspicuous spots are going to hold more fish right now, the spots that people don't hit. So keep an eye on that bottom machine as you're cruising around out there. Also offshore, sharks and tons of them right now. Anywhere offshore right now from about 60 feet of water out to 120. We've got tons of spinners, silkies, and large blacktips. Just get out there, chum heavily, put a chum bag out the back. You can bring them right up to the back of your boat. They're fun on light tackle. You can get the fly rod out and catch them on the fly. A little bit of wire leader and a clouser, or throwing a plug at them is also quite fun. And we're going to miss you guys until next year.
All right, buddy, we'll be talking soon.
Bye, Hagster.
All right, great report from the Northwest Yeti region. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Drummond Community Bank hotspots from the Northwest region. Inshore, redfish throughout the region on the top of the tide use live and cut bait, and then offshore, grouper, 45 to 110 feet of water over the rock piles and ledges use live pinfish, cut sardines, or standard bottom rigs.
Standard bottom rigs.
Should I switch that around?
Yeah.
I get to talking about bottom and I get it all messed up.
Well, of course you do. Okay, now aiming straight across the state for Captain Russell Theron in the Northeast region, hunting was actually his first love before fishing, so I know he has some great tips for us.
Hey, thanks, Brie, and hey, Rick, Dave, all you guys. Yeah, hunting is why I love fishing, because I love hunting fish. But one thing's for sure, we do have a lot of hunters here in Northeast Florida and great places to hunt, too. The FWC has a statewide map showing the names and locations of all the wildlife management areas. We have a variety of game here to hunt in our region. Some of the most popular species are deer, hog, turkey, dove, duck, and, of course, them big old alligators. Now, it's important that we review the FWC rules and regulations each year before we go hunting. The FWC has an outstanding website, www.myfwc.com. You can also obtain an FWC Hunter's Handbook from your local hunting outfitter or maybe a retailer. Hunting is a great way for a parent to spend quality time with their children. Hunting teaches our children many responsibilities, and you will have a lifelong bonding relationship with each other. All right, Rick, well, let's move in and start talking about our red fishing. The last week here of September and all of the month of October, and especially during the mullet run, is a great time to fish for redfish here in Northeast Florida. A great way to target tailing redfish with light tackle is on the flood tides, and with a black and gold saltwater assassin 5-inch jerkbait rigged weedless, or use an Rapala skitterwalk topwater plug trout pattern as a search lure on the falling tides. Another great way to search or use is Rapala's Terminator to use as a search bait. It's also a spinner bait. It works great for catching redfish along the grass lines and over the oyster bars. The redfish are going to be running anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds. All right, Rick, we're going to go offshore and talk about the gag grouper. We've been waiting for these temperature drops, and this is the best time of year to fish for gag groupers, of course, the fall and the first of winter. Catch gag groupers mostly by bottom fishing the structures. Some of the best locations in our region are going to be 120 to 180 foot of water around the artificial reefs and wrecks just inside the ledge, like BR and Elkton Bottom. Now, what you want to try to do is maybe catch 2 to 3 dozen pinfish before you head offshore, or be sure to take your along a Zabiki rig to catch some live Boston mackerel and some live cigar minnows for bait. Remember, the grouper season is going to close January, February, March, and April. And don't forget, there's a 24-inch minimum size limit for gag grouper. The typical size gag grouper in our region are going to run anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds. Also talking about offshore fishing, I want to talk about what's going on in the next couple of months, especially with the cobia. The fact is, there's going to be some real good chance if you're fishing for grouper with big live baits that you may also catch a big cobia. Now, during the fall and the winter months, the cobia are going to be dialed into the same offshore structures as the groupers. You can also use the same rigs and the same baits used in grouper fishing to catch cobia around the artificial reefs and wrecks, ledges, and live bottoms. Cobia are a great table fare and also great fighters. And they're also a hoot to catch. The typical size cobia are going to run anywhere from 25 to 50 pounds. And also, Rick, I'd like to just take a second to say thanks to the charter boat captains, our local anglers and fans for all of the fishing reports this year. Also, a big thank you to all of our sponsors for supporting us this year, and God bless America.
All right, thank you so much, Russell, for reporting from the CCA Northeast region. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the Northeast region. Inshore, cast net shrimp under dock lights at night using shrimp meal or a cast net in the deep holes near points and by day in the St. Johns River. And then offshore, sea bass and triggerfish on the local reefs on live bottom in 75 to 110 feet of water. Use cut cigar minnows and squid for bait.
He's such a hoot.
He is a hoot.
Hoot and holler. Okay, guys, this is it. The CCA boat raffle is drawing the winners for 2 of the 3 boats coming up very shortly. So if you haven't bought a ticket yet, time's running out. On October 9th, the CCA will be picking the winner of the Hells Bay at the Orlando CCA banquet. And the winner for the contender will be chosen on October 23rd at the Dade CCA banquet. And of course, both are equipped with Yamaha motors. So hurry up and buy those tickets. But remember, if you win and don't want the boat, you can opt for a cash prize. All you have to do is go to ccaboatraffle.org and enter to win. What do you think about that?
I think that was awesome.
Hey, straight shooters, we'll be right back with Dave Ferrell and our guest, Drummond, for the Off the Deep End report, and then we're heading on down to the Keys region, only on the Chevy
Florida
Insider
Fishing
Report. We finally got it. Woo!
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy. Find new roads. Best parts, best prices. Bennett Auto Supply. Yeti Coolers. Wildly stronger. Keep ice longer. CCA Florida, the voice of recreational anglers for over 25 years. Contender Boats, performance through innovation. Humminbird, simply, clearly, better. The Florida Lottery, just imagine. And King Sailfish Mounts, www.kingsailfish.com.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year.
I was born free.
Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Get $7,000 total value on the Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition, or trade up to get $8,500. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Yamaha's next generation V6 4-strokes are changing the game.
Mid-range power was awesome.
Fuel, the burn, it's unbelievable.
Couldn't believe the speed and the fuel economy is pretty impressive.
I mean, I couldn't believe the power. It was like it was more like doing a quarter mile on a drag strip.
And them things are like, it's a whole nother game. So I made the switch.
Experience the difference for yourself during the Yamaha Discover V6 Offshore Demo Tour. See why we call it the Game Changer.
Jackpot! Jackpot. Jackpot.
Jackpot?
Jackpot. 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 Jackpot.
Get ready for the Jackpot family of scratch-off games from the Florida Lottery. With a top prize of $2 million, jackpots will happen. Will you be ready for yours?
I got it.
The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at the office. But down here in the Florida Keys, we have to disagree. Because with over 200 of the world's best charter boat captains and guides, there's no such thing as a bad day of fishing. The Florida Keys and Key West.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
It's time to go over the news and notes from the FWC. October 4th, there's a kids fishing clinic in St. Petersburg. October 11th, there's another kids clinic in Naples. And October 18th, check out Marine Quest in St. Petersburg. For more information, visit myfwc.com. Now it's time to go off the deep end.
Well, we're over here at the Jägermeister workbench, and certainly Hummingbird. We always go off the deep end, Dave.
Yes,
but
we do.
Not this week.
No, we're going off the heat end.
Yes, we are. Our good buddy Drummond from Florida Outdoor Experience is here to tell us.
Dave, thank you for having me back
Welcome
this year.
Here.
Yeah.
Now, Gray,
good to be here.
Hog hunting has become a monstrous thing in Florida. They've become crazily out of control.
They have.
You've built this awesome buggy for night assaults on hogs.
That's right. What we did was we took the idea from the marine industry, actually, and we took a Ray Marine infrared camera, and we incorporated that into a golf cart, and now we have a...
Because we don't have to worry about hunting hogs at night because they're invasive species.
On private land, you can hunt them at night
24/7.
365 days a year.
So we don't have to worry about that. We can put the night vision on there and go out and have fun at night.
Have a blast.
Like we used to do when we weren't supposed to.
There you go. Now it's legal, Dave.
So why don't you show us
Let's
how
step
it works.
over here. Allie's in the cart. She's going to help demonstrate this. All right, why don't we dim the lights?
So you got the remote in your hand
This
there.
is the remote, and this controls the camera on top.
All right.
And let's see here. Okay, what we're looking at is a fish and some of the camera crew.
Now,
let's see if we can find...
oh, there goes somebody running.
There goes Kathy. Oh, there's Brie.
There she is.
So, Gray, it picks up on anything that has heat. Is that correct?
That's correct. Anything that's letting off heat, it picks up on.
It glows white.
Exactly.
So the monitors that we're watching it on, actually, and all the people in the studio is what we're able to see.
And we're also able to change the color.
Oh, cool.
Depending on your preference.
And
There's a black and white. We
helps your
found
eyes
that the
at night
red
too,
is
right?
the best to hunt with at night.
Just like when you're in a boat, we put the red cockpit.
Absolutely.
It helps our eyes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so let's
How
turn.
far out can that go? How far out can you see a
line
pig?
of sight?
All right, so
it's amazing.
Let's turn the lights back on, and we want to look at some pictures that you sent us.
Yeah, these are some photos of some actual hunts that I sent you. Wow. And these were taken roughly between 10 and 12 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. What we're looking at right here is a road. And like I said, we couldn't see a thing outside the golf cart until we looked at the screen.
And the next photo?
Amazing. This is the same road about 100 yards down, and you know what that is. That's a deer.
That's a deer standing in the road.
Absolutely.
So
and there's one of my guides helping a hunter, and you can see the hogs in the background. Again, another shot of the guide and the hunter with the hogs.
Right.
And this is just showing you the option of colors. You know, this is a black and white.
The same thing here.
Same thing.
So when the guy climbs out of the buggy there, he can't see the pigs anymore on the screen, so you have another
right. So this helps us find it, but we have to shoot it.
Right.
And this is what we use to shoot it. This is a 300 blackout.
A FLIR scope.
With the FLIR scope. And this is a night vision scope, and this is so much fun.
I bet,
you know?
yeah.
So, Gray, let me ask you, what's the average distance that you are able to shoot something at nighttime?
Sure, but we generally like to keep it within 70 to 100 yards. You still have to play the wind. You know, they smell you. That's your worst enemy at night. They can't see you, though.
Now, the buggy is electric or gas?
It's electric. It's very important to be quiet. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, Florida Outdoor Experience doesn't just specialize in nighttime hog hunts.
That's
what
right.
else do you guys specialize?
Oh, we offer everything that Florida offers. We offer deer hunts, daytime hog hunts, gator hunts. We really specialize in the Osceola turkey.
Oh,
you know, and that's only found in a certain region in Florida.
Right.
Now,
so.
Guys come from all over
here. And we can charter, you know, up and down fishing trips, up and down the West Coast. Absolutely.
Now, do you provide the accommodations? I know you have the most beautiful farmhouse off, you know,
we
up
do.
in Chiefland.
We provide accommodations at our farmhouse. It's a late 1800s Florida cracker farmhouse.
Oh. Beauty.
And we're also building another cabin that I brought down dismantled in West Virginia, brought it down here. It's from 1830.
Wow.
And that should be complete this November.
So if somebody wants to know more about booking a hunting trip, a fishing trip, and Florida Outdoor Experience, what do they need to do?
Check out our Facebook page, Florida Outdoor Experience, or our website, floridooutdoorexperience.com. All of our contact information is on that, and we'd love to have
How long do you need
down.
to book in advance?
Well, we're booking up fast now.
Yeah, so you need to get in there now.
Absolutely.
And our Northwest Region guide, Captain Jeff Hageman,
Jeff Hageman
is one of your
is a
turkey
huge
guides,
part of this, absolutely. As a matter of fact, he was pretty well responsible for hooking us up with this awesome Ray Marine product, and I think this was his idea.
Oh, well, man,
so Randall Marsh, Jeff Hageman, and a few others, they're great guys to have aboard.
Oh boy, it's not safe to be with this guy during the day. I can't imagine what's going to happen.
We have a good time.
Things are falling.
Thank you for coming. And speaking of sneaking up on things at night, Brie.
Speaking of what, Rick? Speaking of that young buck over there, that's what I thought you were going to say. But that works. I'll sneak up on you at night, too. Okay, let's say hi to Captain Randy Tao in the Keys region, where the hunting is, yeah, not so much, but the fishing is still great.
Hey, good evening, fish fans. You know, we don't have much hunting. It's all about fishing in the Keys, and it's timing. And the one fish that we have to have good timing with is the bonefish. You know, this time of year is probably the prime time if you really want to catch a bonefish in the Keys, whether it's the upper Keys, the lower Keys, Key West. Now's when you want to try to target them. And we get a lot of thunderstorms in the afternoon, and we've had some rainy conditions this whole week. And what happens, it cools the water off, and usually there's a period where it's calm and it gets real nice, and the bone fishing gets really good. So a lot of guys that know to look for this condition will certainly plan their day, and as soon as they get that window to go, off they go. And on the incoming tide is usually when you're going to find your tailing bonefish. That's going to be the best chance of getting on them in the shallow water as that water moves up. Once that tide gets high, kind of the middle of the day, you're going to find more of your fish in the deeper water mudding. And you're really going to have to be able to see the difference in the water color to pick these fish out. A small blue crab on a light spinning rod is a perfect combination to get the job done. And I would say anytime you have the right tide, whether you're in the upper Keys or the middle Keys, from now till the end of October, you're going to have a real good chance at these bonefish.
All right, what else you got for us inshore, Randy?
The red fishing in the backcountry, you know, so many guys, you know, we don't have the bone fishing as good as it used to be, so the guys are switching over to red fishing, and it's still just outstanding. Plenty of redfish. A lot of the guys are using these technical boats that go real shallow. They're able to get way up on top of the flat and really have some great sight fishing. Same rule applies there. On that low incoming tide, when you don't have much water, you're going to find these fish tailing up on the flat. And as that tide gets high, you're going to want to be able to look down into the grass to find these fish swimming. So as long as you have sunlight, you've got a good chance at finding these fish. But on these overcast days, once they stop tailing, you might want to look out in the deeper water along some of the shorelines or around some of the deep channels around these islands we have out in front of Flamingo.
All right, let's go offshore, bub.
You know, the blackfin tunas showed up, and for the last couple of weeks, they have been outstanding. Everybody I talk to, whether they have a flats boat, a bay boat, or a big offshore boat, they're taking advantage of the blackfin tuna bite out on the offshore humps. And anywhere from the Isla Morada to the Marathon humps to the 409, you can find these blackfin tuna. Now, during the day, we've had these stormy days where it's been overcast, and the bite has lasted throughout the day, which is a little bonus because normally it's an early morning, late in the day kind of scenario. But if you're able to get live bait, the live pilchards have really been producing some big blackfin tunas right now in the 30-pound range. And you want to have a pretty stout rod because the sharks are just as bad right now eating those big tunas when you get them on.
All right, what else you got, Randy?
Triple tails. You know, this time of year, we find triple tails on floating debris offshore. You always hear people talk about triple tails in the backcountry. Well, we also have them out in the Atlantic, and this time of year especially, it seems like they're a little bit bigger, they're a little more user-friendly, and you see more of them, I guess, because we don't have the dolphin fishing as good as it was a couple of months ago. So if you find something floating, whether it's a pallet, a bucket, or a big patch of seaweed, chances are there's going to be a triple tail there. Have a rod ready, a light spinning rod, with a small hook, a piece of shrimp, or a small piece of cut bait. And if you throw it right on top of them, they are very eager to play the game. So keep your eyes open for those triple tails on any floating debris you see offshore.
All right, well, thank you so much for your hard work this year, Randy. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the La Jolla hotspots from the Florida Keys. Inshore bonefish, fish the rising tide in the early morning for tailing fish, and then look for the fish mudding during the midday on the high waters. And then offshore, blackfin tunas, look for the offshore humps and offshore reefs in 200 feet of water. Use live pilchards while drifting or slow trolling using a black worm.
Ooh la la.
The
I would
black
say ooh la
worm.
la. Okay, now it's time to tell you about some tournaments in the Florida Keys.
You're ooh la la.
Oh, thanks. The Robert James Sales Redbone Celebrity Tournament is set for November 7th through the 9th in Isla Mirada. It's the last of 3 annual Keys tournaments that raise funds for cystic fibrosis research and treatment. At the Chica Lodge All-American Backcountry Tournament, set for November 13th to the 15th in Isla Mirada, anglers are to compete for prizes and trophies while targeting snook, redfish, bonefish, tarpon, and permit. Sail fishing in the Florida Keys begins to dominate winter angling in December, and the Isla Mirada Sailfish Championship is scheduled for December 4th through the 7th. It's the first leg of the Triple Crown Florida Keys Gold Cup Championship Series. Wow.
I know about that one.
The Isla Mirada Junior Sailfish Tournament, set for December 12th through the 14th, is open to anglers 16 and younger and is just in time for Christmas. Proceeds help benefit the Toys for Tots of the Keys program. And now, you know who it's time to hear from.
It's time for Mr. Andy Newman.
That's correct. Hey, Andy.
Hey, guys. Well, I'll tell you something, the season certainly has passed by quickly. But for our last report, we're going to talk about an annual Keys-based fishing university for women. The Ladies Let's Go Fishing Seminar is set for November 14th to the 16th in the Upper Florida Keys. Now, during the last 2 decades, more than 8,000 women have learned how to rig bait, cast, proper fish fighting techniques, boat and trailer handling, and so much more. Ladies Let's Go Fishing is billed as the No Yellin' School of Fishing. I know Rick never yells at Kathy, by the way. The final day offers options for that country are offshore fishing and provides introductions and instructions for lady anglers of all experience levels. Much more details at ladiesletsgofishing.com. And, of course, Rick and Brie, for more details on all tournaments, events, and accommodations in the Florida Keys, where should you go?
You should go to flakeys.com.
There you go, Rick. Hey, it's been a great year, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you so much, Andy. Looking forward to it.
Wow, I can hear Rick, but I can't see him. He's so camoed. Ah.
I got my sunrise lenses, man. I'm like in my own little world right now.
Okay, coming right up on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, we're going up to the Panhandle region and then shooting on down to the Central East region. So sit tight and carry the line. We'll be right back.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin, the best lures, period. Blue Water Outriggers, everything for your outdoor adventures. Guy Harvey Clothing by AFTCO. Croquis, made in the USA. Drummond Community Bank. Costa, see what's out there. And Casa Vieja Lodge, 5-star angling in beautiful Guatemala.
Jackpot! Jackpot. Jackpot.
Jackpot?
Jackpot. 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 Jackpot.
Get ready for the Jackpot family of scratch-off games from the Florida Lottery. With a top prize of $2 million, jackpots will happen. Will you be ready for yours?
I got it.
The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
What is CCA? CCA has been representing recreational fishermen for over 25 years, and when your rights to fish are threatened, the CCA is there to make sure government regulators are making sound decisions. I'm a life member of CCA, and when fishery decisions are being made, the CCA in the room is fighting for our recreational rights. We need to give our kids the same opportunities to fish as we did. Do what I did. Go to ccaflorida.org and join for only $25 so you can protect your recreational angling rights.
Hi, I'm Harold Bennett. My dad started Bennett Auto Supply over 57 years ago. Things have changed since then. We've grown to 33 stores and opened a 93,000 square foot distribution center. But one thing has stayed the same, our focus on the customer. That's why we have the most knowledgeable parts specialists in the business, and we only offer quality auto parts at the guaranteed lowest prices. The next time you need anything for your vehicle, think Bennett Auto Supply. Best parts, best prices, Bennett Auto Supply.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Get $7,000 total value on the Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition, or trade up to get $8,500. See your local Chevy dealer today.
It's cool.
What, Rick?
I got Kid Rock singing in my commercial block.
That's pretty cool. You're really cool. Hosted by StayInCostaRica.com, enter to win a Costa Rican getaway with Sportsman Adventures. This 3-night stay for 4 people at Los Sueños Resort includes an adventure tour and a day of fishing. To enter, go to ChevyFloridaInsiderFishingReport.com or SportsmanAdventures.com. Now, I bet you can imagine how good the hunting is up in them panhandle parts.
I know how good it is.
Captain Pat Deneen is going to tell you all about it.
Okay.
You might not be here when we
Tell me, Pat Tar.
Hey, Brie, Rick. I tell you what, hunting is extremely popular in the Panhandle, and we do have a lot of good hunting. If you don't have private property to hunt, there's plenty of public property that we have several state wildlife management areas, and then also federal property provided by Eglin and Tyndall, and all have opportunities for deer, pigs, turkey, small game, dove, and ducks. And the dove season is just kicking off. Captain Wes Roser over in Pensacola, he organizes dove hunts, and he's been having some really successful dove hunts just across the border in Alabama, and he also organizes them here in the Panhandle of Florida. So if you want to give dove hunting a shot, give Wes a call. Duck hunting's good. I saw some teal on the bay just this past week, and soon we'll have some big rafts of redheads and other diver ducks, throughout our bays and river systems. And then finally, the deer season is just 1 month away for the bow season. So I know a lot of people looking forward to that, as I am too. And we've got good deer hunting in the Panhandle, but also probably better deer hunting just north in Alabama. There's a photo there of Lieutenant Dan Cushion of Destin, and he's a real pretty buck he killed last year up at the Broken Spoke Lease just north of Troy. So we fortunately get to hunt those woods.
All right, tell me about the inshore fishing, Bubba.
Rick, the redfish the fall is the best time for redfish in the Panhandle, and the red fishing is on. I spoke with Captain Sean Chalker over in Appalach, and he said early morning there's a good bite going on the backside of St. Vince Island, up close to the shoreline and over the oyster bars. He's using topwater baits early in the morning, and then spoons and lightly weighted bass assassin sea shads later in the day. Captain Trey McGowan over in Panama City said there's a good redfish and mangrove snapper bite inside their inlet using live baits. And there's similar action going on in Destin and Pensacola, particularly on the outgoing tide. And I fished over in West Bay today. Despite the wind, we saw plenty of reds up in very, very shallow water. There's a photo I sent in of Sean Santiago with a very nice redfish he caught on a bass assassin sea shad this past week with me fishing in Choctawhatchee Bay. So that's a nice fat one there.
That is a nice fat one, Pat. Let's go ahead and go offshore.
King mackerel, the bite is going off outside Panama City. Plenty of 10 to 15-pound fish. They're on all the nearshore structure and also on the buoy line. Slow troll or drift live herrings, cigar minnows, or blue runners on a wire leader. Use a stinger rig with one hook in the nose and the other one either free swinging or hooked towards the tail. And don't expect it, but also don't be surprised if a sailfish shows up and eats your bait. There's been quite a few sailfish being caught off the piers as well as by guys king mackerel fishing, and there's also some nice fat blackfin tunas running around. And then moving further offshore, that the billfish bite, the offshore waters this past several weeks has been very good for billfish. The spur has been on. It's still a great place to to start, but also check the dumping grounds and also east towards the squiggles. And watch your bottom machine while you're out there. You'll find some big rafts of bait, mid-water or even up in the upper water column. If you find those rafts of bait, fish that area hard. You're going to probably get a knockdown. The meat fish like the wahoo and the dolphin have been more of a hit or miss, but the white marlins and the blue marlin and actually a couple of spearfish have been caught over the last couple of weeks, which is very unusual. So use 30-pound tackle, preferably at least a 50-pound class outfit. Captain Billy Teams on the fishing team out of Destin, he released an 800-plus pound blue just last week north of the spur, so you could run into a very big fish. There's a photo, Adam Schroeder, he's my mate on the out of here, and that's a nice white that we caught last week, out just a little bit southwest of the spur.
Good-looking set of fish there, Pat. Thanks for sending in the pictures and all your hard work this year. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the blue water outrigger hotspots from the Panhandle region. Captain Pat says one more time, inshore, the backside of St. Vincent's Island, first thing in the morning for redfish with bone skitterwalks, and then offshore, king mackerel chewing outside of St. Andrews Pass on live cigar minnows and herring, or you might want to troll a Rapala 30, Brie.
Well, guys, don't forget to go and see Rick and Pat at the National Shrimp Festival on October 11th and 12th in Gulf Shores, Alabama, at the Chevy display area for some fishing seminars and great giveaways, as always.
It's gonna be fun.
You have free stuff all the time.
I'm like Santa Claus, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yes, you are, Rick. And now moving on to the Central Eastern region. Captain Jim Ross is never short for words with a kill shot report. Like always, hey, Mr. Ross.
How are you doing tonight, Brie?
Oh, pretty sad, but, working through it.
Well, you know what? The Central East region is comprised of a really good portion of Zone C and a little bit of Zone B, right there in the central part of the state. Now, archery season for Zone C opened on September 13th this year, and Zone B is going to open up on October the 18th. We've had some pretty good deer taken so far with a bow and arrow. In fact, Sean Moxley of Titusville got a permit for Buck Lake, which is a wildlife management area up near Mims, and he made the best of it last Saturday. Even though it was raining, he got a really, really nice 10-point buck out there with his bow. Now, Sean was sitting in the rain in his climber. The buck stepped out into a little clearing, and, of course, he let that arrow fly and find its mark. We've also got early teal and wood duck season going on right now. It started on September the 20th, and it goes through the 28th. The ducks have been a little slow so far this year. I was talking with Chris Brands. He did get a few wood ducks on Wednesday, but the overall projection is that it's really tough right now throughout the St. Johns River Basin and a lot of the areas that they typically find those wood ducks and those teal in. Now, dove season opens up, and the first phase is going to come in on the September 22nd. Early scouting reports are confirming really good numbers for dove here in the Central East region, and this year the hunters that are getting out there to do that are really excited about possibly getting their limits on opening day. And I've got a couple of pictures here. The first one is a picture of Sean Moxley with that 10-point buck he got. And, Rick, you can appreciate this. Look at the G2s and the G3s on that buck.
Yeah, man, they're looking good. Good job.
His horns are almost touching, but he's got some really high rack. And then my second picture is when you're hunting wildlife management areas, you have to walk in and walk out. So one of the things that it's really important to do is bring the proper type of gear with you. And they brought this little cart so that they could haul that deer out because they were almost a mile back in the woods when they shot this thing. Moving on, my second species is redfish, and of course, last week's theme species is once again making headlines in the Central East region. Anglers are catching redfish in all three lagoons right now and along the surf from Ponce Inlet to Vero Beach. Now, live fingerling mullet seem to be working pretty good, but cut mullet chunks are working really good as well, especially on days when the bite's not so good. You want to put them on a VMC 7385 circle hook. That way you can release the fish if you need to, or if you get over your bag limit. And, of course, the redfish are going to be holding in the mullet schools that are just milling around on the flats. So try and find the ones that aren't moving too much. They're in there feeding and milling around. The redfish are going to be in with them. The most of our redfish right now are running from about 16 to 30 inches, but we've got fish over 45 inches that have come to the docks, or not to the docks, but come to boat side again this week. Now, I've got a photo here as well. I had Bob and Deb Purnham out the other day, and they got a nice double header, and you can see their fish are ranging on all sizes right now. Deb got one that's just a little bit right at the top of slot, or maybe just an inch over, and then, of course, Bob got one of our standard little tiny fish that we get here in the 2-foot flats. That fish, both those fish came from the Banana River.
Looking
now,
good.
Rolling offshore. Tarpon right now are still pretty good on the beaches. The live mullet, glass minnows, and pogies are schooling out there, and the tarpon are still running around, blowing them up. You want to look in the surf or just outside the surf zone in that 10 to 20-foot depth, and you want to slow troll with the mullet or the pogies on a 7/0 to 9/0 VMC circle hook. And you want to use some 60 to 80-pound test Sup Explorer carbon leader. Now, if you're fishing from the beach, try using topwater plugs. That new Williamson Surface Pro seems to be a real popular one. You can cast it out past the surf break and then bring it back through the breaking surf. And the tarpon right now, you can often see them cartwheeling through the bait fish, especially in that Satellite Beach and Melbourne Beach area. Now, most of our tarpon are running about 70 to 110 pounds. And my last species is a species that's just starting to show up. They're really funny-looking fish, but they're starting to reappear here in Central Florida, and that is the triple tail. And as we go into fall, we're going to see their numbers are going to increase. So anglers are going to have these fish to look forward to. Now, a lot of times, you don't really realize they're a fish. They look like a piece of trash or plastic just kind of floating on the water surface. But if you pay attention, a lot of times those are actually triple tail holding on the top. Now, they also like to hang around those types of debris or sargasso weed, buoys, channel markers, things of that nature. Finger mullet, small crabs, live shrimp, all of those are going to be free-lined, and you're going to use about a 25 to 30-pound test piece of fluorocarbon in front of those free-line baits. And I'm telling you, triple tail will come over and eat them. Most of our fish are running about 5 to 8 pounds right now. Excuse me. But as we move into November and into December, we're going to start getting those giant triple tail that we're known for here in the Central East region. And some of those fish are going to go 20 to 30 pounds, Rick and Brie. Just want to say one last thing. It's been a fantastic season this year. Hopefully everybody in the Central East region has had a good time watching the show, and we look forward to having you guys back next year with us.
All right, thank you so much, Jim.
See
We're
you
going to
next
go
year.
ahead and take a look at the hookup lure hotspots from the Central East region. Captain Jim says inshore shark, tarpon, Spanish mackerel along the beaches. Use live mullet on a VMC circle hook. And then offshore, amberjacks on the reefs and wrecks in 180 to 250 feet of water. Use live bait fish or a Williamson vertical jig, Brie.
Rick. Okay, we have 3 great weekends, 3 great tournaments, 1 weekend. See what you do to me? September 25th through the 28th, presented by Marine Max. The 16th annual New Smyrna Beach Billfish Invitational, where anglers fish with unrestricted tackle in this offshore World Championship qualifying event to target marlin and sailfish. The small boat division includes outboards and vessels under 40 feet. Anglers can compete for additional cash and prizes by entering the NSBBC tournament simultaneously. The 5th annual New Smyrna Beach Backwater Tournament allows anglers to fish inshore while competing for the heaviest redfish and trout combination. Multiple tournament awards and cash prizes are available for entrance. And the 3rd event is the inaugural New Smyrna Beach Blue Water Challenge, where anglers fish unrestricted tackle for dolphin, wahoo, and tuna as a separate event or in conjunction with the Billfish Invitational. Each entry is eligible for a $5,000 cash prize for the heaviest fish weighed. In addition to the awards, you could win an invitation to the Offshore World Championship. This is a festival celebrating all that is fishing with something for everyone. So whether you want to fish a tournament, see some boats, or enjoy some great food, come on down to Riverside Park for some fun in the sun. What do you think about that?
You did good.
All right, well, we have some more fun coming your way because waiting in the wings, we have Dave and our special guest, Ali Hobson, with a ton of new products.
I love that sound.
Oh, and then we'll check in with the Central West region right here on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. I want that pink gun.
Man, hot chicken.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by the Florida Keys and Key West. Come as you are. Hookup Lures, premium lures for serious anglers. FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, diver, and fisherman. La Jolla Resort, a place for family and fishermen. Maverick Boat Company, makers of premium boat brands, Maverick, Hughes, and Pathfinder. Navionics, we start where the road ends.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. with legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Jackpot!
Jackpot.
Jackpot!
Jackpot?
Jackpot! 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 Jackpot!
Get ready for the Jackpot family of scratch-off games from the Florida Lottery. With a top prize of $2 million, jackpots will happen. Will you be ready for yours?
I got it.
The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers. Contender Boats. Performance through innovation.
Suffix 832 is constructed with 7 strands of Dyneema and a single strand of Gore Performance Fiber. It's the roundest, longest casting line in the world. It offers superior abrasion resistance so you can fish it anywhere. It's the strongest, most sensitive, and durable small diameter braid ever to hit the water. Nice fish, Brett.
Thanks.
Suffix 832. Always use the best line.
It's the boat show. The Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, October 30th through November 3rd. It's a family affair. See over 1,000 boats of all shapes and sizes with factory experts on site. Catch cruising, fishing and diving seminars, free kids fishing clinics, electronics, art, jewelry and fashion, food, drinks, live music and opening night fireworks. All at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, October 30th through November 3rd. Get discount tickets at showmanagement.com.
One more time for the Jägermeister workbench in 2014.
Last time
Dave.
is the best
You know,
time.
we've done 286
That's a lot.
fishing reports.
That's a lot.
How about it?
That's a lot.
But over here, every week, we got to talk about new products.
Yes.
We brought our new products hunting expert in, Ali Hobson.
She's going to show us some cool stuff.
So, Ali, what do you got for us this
Thank
week?
y'all so much for having me back. First and foremost, real quick, I want to thank Action Gun Archery out of Melbourne, Florida for providing me with all these products today so I could bring it to y'all. First and foremost, we'll talk about my Optimizer Ultralight sight here from HHA Sports. And some of the key points about this new sight, or newer sight, it's a single point
Look at
pin.
that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, check that out. It's completely toolless system, so you don't need any tools to adjust it.
Real slow.
It uses a 2-distance calibration with these easy tapes here. You set it at 20 yards, 60 yards, and then kind of anything in between is usually dead on as far as your shot goes. You can also adjust the light with it, just a single pull back here allows more light in, so when it's actually darker out, you can allow more light. And if it's super bright,
brightened up in here.
Yeah, sure did. And if it's too bright out, it's not actually blinding you when you got it set on your game. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what else you got on? You got a GoPro on there?
Yep, the new GoPro Sportsman mount. And actually, as anglers, we all probably
like
have.
this, right?
Yep, that's it right there. We usually have.
And this will go on rods and reels too.
Rods,
right?
reels, bows, anything. And then also the shotgun, rifles, anything that any type of firearm you have, you can actually
you need.
You got it.
You think we can put it on Brie?
Yeah, might as well.
Mount it on it.
All right.
Just checking.
All right, what else we got?
All right, so next we have our Mossy Oak Graphics shotgun
this
skin.
thing is cool.
This is pretty cool. Now,
So
this is my
tell them all about that.
It's my old Wingmaster, Remington Wingmaster. The blue is all scraped up, the bluing was all scraped up, the stock was all scraped up. It's my duck gun, so it's been out in the marsh several times.
So you pretty much turned it into a new shotgun.
Turned it into a brand new shotgun by adding the sticker on there. So essentially what you can do is I just took a hair dryer, blow dryer, all girls have those, and just kind of stick it on nice and slow, kind of heat it up a little bit, conform it to the stock and the barrel.
So it's a heat shrink.
Yep, heat shrink, brand new, pretty much brand new gun afterwards. And the cool thing about it is you can actually remove it, take it off, put on new stickers based on where you're going to be hunting. If your boyfriend wants to borrow it, you can take the pink tape off and put something on for him to use.
Should be good with that. I think that was headed in a certain direction in this studio.
All right, gotcha. And what you got there? That looks like a game camera of some sort.
This is the Plot Watcher Pro game system. Now, this is pretty cool. Instead of having your regular trail cam, which takes photos every now and then when something actually walks out in front of it, this actually takes 12 hours of potential video that you can take on an SD card, put onto your computer, and it does over 3 minutes time lapse of a plot or a field. So you can actually watch deer, hog, any type of game walking in and out of the field, and you can kind of watch, track them and see what their patterns are throughout the day.
It'll condense the 12 hours into 3 minutes.
Exactly, into 3 minutes, and you can watch it over time lapse.
Wow.
Time lapse technology, yep. You can also set on the inside, it runs on 8 AA batteries, and for 4 months. So
4 months.
You can turn it on and off. It's
set it for a time, so it'll be off for 10 to 2 or whatever.
You got it. Yep. And it also has you can actually set 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, any time, or you can actually even customize it. Does certain intervals, whatever you need.
Beauty.
Tell me about the broadheads.
Okay,
Ali.
this is pretty cool. Now you got your fixed broadheads, you got your mechanical broadheads. This is the new Rage slip cam core technology broadhead that's coming out. It actually, once you shoot it, spreads out into 1.6 or so inches, and actually packs a devastating blow to your game. Makes for a great blood trail. It can easily drop the game.
Well, see what happens when this thing is spinning. All these blades flare out,
right?
And it makes a huge channel through the game when it goes through it.
Wow.
And makes them bleed better.
Yeah, so you can
that's an
track
amazing
them,
thing.
drop them quickly.
That's a lot of stainless steel little razor blades on there.
You got it.
Ali, you did a great job tonight.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Don't
That's a lot of talking, isn't it?
That's a lot of talking.
We got a lot of stuff to cover. Speaking of covering, and my GoPro Brie is standing by to take us to a new region.
Ali, you are so cool.
Oh, boy.
You're just awesome.
Thank you.
We love you. Okay, let's talk with our favorite captain from the Central West region, Jeffrey Page, who is not only giving you the inside scoop on hunting, but the fishing report for this weekend as well.
Hey, you guys, in our Starbright Central West region, we have a number of public land areas that offer hunters excellent opportunity for hogs, deer, and a variety of smaller varmints. To the south, the CL Webb Management area is in Lee and Charlotte County, and then out east of there we have the Avon Park lease and some other areas in northeast Tampa. But nothing beats having some good friends that will give you a pass on their private land, which is the best. Also in our region, we have many guided hog and alligator hunts, which guys like Captain Gary Gilliland and Captain Dave Marquette have a great reputation at successful hunts. I've got a photo tonight of our good friend fishing captain Jason Ramsey with a deer that he got last season.
That's a good shot of JJ. All right, go
anyway,
ahead.
species 2, snook. Lots of snook have moved in from the beaches with our water temperature dropping down to almost 80 degrees and cool mornings. They're starting to load up in the passes or even starting to stage up on the flats as the water temperature gets down. And the fish are feeding better on the morning outgoing tide in the passes on live free-line pilchards. It's suggested to use at least 25 to 30-pound fluorocarbon with a 1/0 light wire hook. As for the fish holding on the flats and the bars, it's been a toss-up between the live target scale sardine suspending bait or saltwater assassin 4-inch elite shiner in the Mama's 14-carat pattern on an 1/8-ounce hookup jig head. Some of the better areas are the bars out front of Cockroach Bay, as well as the long bar that runs from the Ringling Mansion north to Bowley's Creek in North Sarasota Bay, and the snook are averaging 24 to 32 inches. I've got a photo tonight of one of my good clients, Big Mark, with a nice 33-incher he got with me last week.
All right, let's go offshore, Papa.
Offshore, Captain Billy Nobles says the yellowtail snapper have been cooperating on the wrecks and ledges in 100 to 140 feet of water off St. Pete, south to Bradenton. He's been anchoring up and chumming to get the bite going, and then he's using live shrimp as well as cut sardines. And I've got a photo tonight of Captain Billy with his good client, David Hoffman. Species 2 gag grouper. Gags are loving this water temp drop and have started to move in as close as 35 feet of water. You control lift X-Wrap 20s or 30s, as well as the Bomber Long A and Solid Gold pattern. Live pinfish grunts, best bet for the bottom bite. Look for the big gags to move in as soon as the first cold front rolls, which usually is that first week of October. Real quick, I'd just like to thank you, Captain Rick, Kathy, as well as all the crew, Jeff, Nicole, and everybody behind the scene that makes the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report the best show in the world. And a big tip of the cap to Miss Brie, who rocked the house this year, being her first season. And certainly, last but not least, our sponsors, like I always say, get you a Chevy truck and come out and see us this weekend at the 10th Street Boat Ramp. The IFA Sarasota Redfish Tour comes to Sarasota. Myself and you, Rick, as well as Jeff Hageman and Ronnie Houston are going to be there too.
Yep, go Team Yeager, and make sure you come and see all the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Reports captains out there. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Tires Plus hotspots from the Startron Central West region. Inshore, redfish, look for nice groups of reds holding on the outer bars of Bull and Turtle Bay. Throw 1/4 ounce gold spoons or live pinfish under a cork. And then offshore, red grouper, big reds coming off a hard bottom and structure in 110 to 140 feet of water off of Venice.
You okay, Rick?
I'm getting all choked up.
So teary-eyed.
I don't want to go.
I know, me neither. Okay, guys, go hog wild. The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report and Florida Outdoor Experience is giving away a hog hunt. One lucky winner and a guest will get 3 days and 3 nights full of hunting, fun, and it also includes lodging and meals. All you have to do is go to our website at ChevyFloridaInsiderFishingReport.com to register. But next up on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing, he's still crying? No, he's not crying, he's mad. Next up, we have the East and Southeast regions all lined up and ready to fire when we get back from this short break. High five.
High five.
Oh, got
missed
you.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy. Find new roads. Alukai, fit by nature, crafted by hand. Best parts, best prices. Bennett Auto Supply. The Florida Keys and Key West. Come as you are. Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Startron. Cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. And Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
It's Chevy Truck Month, time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Get $7,000 total value on the Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition, or trade up to get $8,500. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
I'm Captain Rick Murphy, and I'm a life member of CCA. Why am I so involved with CCA, you ask? Because I want our fisheries to be in better shape for my kids and their kids. CCA is working to ensure the future of recreational fisheries and the rights of recreational anglers. The future of fishing starts today with you. How do you want to leave things with your kids? If you're like me, you'll want to make the right choice and go to joinccaflorida.com right now.
How you feeling, Rick?
I'm feeling good.
Oh, that's good, because I know there is some good hunting in Captain Mike Holliday's East region, and why are you dancing? And he's going to tell you all about it. Shoot!
That's a definite. In Palm Beach County, you have the Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge. which has some areas open to duck hunting. You have the Holy Land, a 55-square-mile tract open to deer, hog, duck, and small game hunting, and the Corbett Wildlife Management Area, which is a decent spot to hunt deer, hog, snipe, and turkey. If you're feeling exotic, there's JR Outfitters in Jupiter. That's got everything from quail, snipe, turkey, and alligators to exotics like Asian water buffalo, axis deer, and black buck. And then in Martin County, there's the Dupuy Wildlife Management Area, which has a lot of deer, hogs, turkey, and small game. And then the Hungry Land, which is a great snipe spot, and also, has some deer and some hogs in it. And then there's Alpata Flats in western Martin County, which has a good population of deer, hogs, and small game. In St. Lucie County, the only public hunting land is the C23, C24 Reservoir public small game hunting area off Okeechobee Road, where they allow the hunting of hogs, small game, and migratory birds. But if you don't mind paying to hunt, there's Quail Creek in St. Lucie County, one of Rick's favorite spots, that has quail, pheasant, turkey hunting, and one of the best sporting clay courses around. And then there's also Okeechobee Shooting Sports off State Road 70 in Okeechobee. So we got a ton of great hunting opportunities in my area. But let's talk fishing. We're coming off the new moon on Wednesday, so the tides are high. The snook is doing, particularly at dawn and dusk. That high water will have the snook holding on the shorelines and on the seawalls. So places like the Intercoastal Waterway from Jupiter Inlet to Hope Sound and around Perry Como's old house in the Lockheed River, that'll have the snook banging mullet on the walls at first light. There'll also be a good push to mullet right at dark at all the inlets. So you want to fish wherever the bait schools are getting crashed in those spots, in those inlets. And also the bridges like the 25-cent Bridge in Stewart, North Bridge in Fort Pierce, and the Barber Bridge in Vero Beach, that'll have good concentration of snook. They'll be on the upcurrent side of the shadow line after dark. Key in all those areas is bait. There's no bait, the bite will be off. Find the bait, find the fish. The bait's going through the light. You can throw a topwater plug, a dye adapter, an elite shiner, even live mullet or mag minnow, any of that will do. You'll get snook up to about 20 pounds. So the snook bite's on in my region, guys.
All right, let's go offshore, Mike.
Well, the best dolphin bite is still on the weeds and floating debris way out deep and anywhere from 1,000 feet of water on out. 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet. That's where the better weed is. That's where the better dolphin is. That's certainly where the larger fish and the larger school of dolphin are being encountered. That being said, there's some scattered dolphin in 100 to 340 feet of water, but it really hit or miss, and most of the fish are under 10 pounds. There's been a few sailfish and wahoo in that mix as well. Target the dolphin by trolling lures like a Williamson Dorado jig or flash feather, and you can fish those either naked or put a bonito strip just to add a little paste to the lure, make the fish hang on a little longer. You can also cast net up a bunch of mullet along the beach or around the inlets. Either slow troll them offshore or pitch them at anything floating you encounter, that might be holding fish. Average dolphin's going to be 5 to 16 pounds. I got a photo there. That's Peter Vandergrift. He caught that dolphin on a fly while live swimming with pilchards and finger mullet in 140 feet of water off Benson Beach. Now, probably the most consistent bite in blue water is a snapper bite, although it's sort of a mixed bag of mangroves, muttons, and yellowtails with vermilion and schoolmaster snapper in the mix as well. Off Palm Beach County, the better bite than anywhere from 65 to 90 feet of water from Jupiter Inlet to the Lake Worth Pier, with most anglers drifting and bottom bouncing. In St. Lucie County, the mangrove snapper bite's strong in 70, 90 feet of water, 70 to 90 feet of water along the backside of that offshore bar. That action's really good at night. Live or dead finger mullet, sardines, cigar minnows, pilchards, that'll get you the bigger fish. Ballyhoo chunks and squid will get you the yellowtails. You can fish chicken rigs or a trip hook bottom rig, drifting, and free line them in the chum line if you're anchored up. Average snapper is going to be 1 to 3 pounds.
All right, Mike, bass fishing is part of what you do, so tell me what's happening in your region.
All right, I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't fished Lake Okeechobee, this is the time to do it. The next 2 weeks. The cooler mornings and the abundance of shad really have those bass feeding aggressively, basically from first light well into midday. It's not cutting off at 10 o'clock anymore. It's going past almost to 1 o'clock now. There's two options here. You can look for busting fish and diving birds that are on the shad, throw white spinnerbaits with a willow leaf blade, topwater plug, lipless crankbaits, or elite shiners in that blue and white, blue and silver, or the pearl colors. And then as the day heats up, switch over to fishing the outside grass points where the fish are staging right now. Throw a 10-inch June bug-colored worm rig Texas style, or flip those big clumps of grass. Sing bar, second point, those are real hot right now. The outside edge of the monkey box, observation shoal have also been producing good fish all week. The other option is to fish those fast lines with live shiners. That'll get you a big bite as well as good numbers well into the afternoon. You know, the morning schooling bites, there's 20 to 30 fish right now, up to 50 fish for the guys shiners, and the average catch 1 to 4 pounds.
Thank you again, Mike. Great job this year from the Bennett Auto Supply East Region. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the East Region hotspots brought to you by WaterwayCafe.com. Inshore, snook and tarpon at Hobestown Beach, live mullet, dead mullet, or mullet-shaped lures around the bait schools. And then offshore, mutton snappers in 75 feet of water along the Loran Tower Ledge, sardines and cigar minnows at night. Sounds like anything with a mullet is going to catch you a fish inshore over there.
Let me mull it over. Okay, let's see what Captain Jimbo Thomas has to say about the Southeast region. But first, I have a joke. What's the difference between a hunterman and a fisherman?
I don't know.
A hunter lies and waits. A fisherman waits and lies.
Oh,
hey, Jimbo.
Oh, man. Jimbo, you hear that?
Hey, Brie. Yeah, that sounds like one I heard about 3rd grade.
Hey, it's still good. It's vintage.
Woo!
It's vintage.
All right, well, here, I'll talk a little bit about hunting. You know, we don't have as many hunting opportunities in the Southeast region as they do further to the north. There's some deer, hog, and turkey hunting in the Everglades Big Cypress Wildlife Management Area, but hunting in general is considered poor unless you're hunting pythons, of course. Plenty of those out there from what I hear. Although nighttime frog hunting is also popular in the Everglades. Now, there is some decent dove hunting in the south end of the region. There are a number of private leases, and the Frog Pond Special Opportunity Field is the only public dove field. And the first phase of dove season opens September 27th, and it runs until October 27th. And the season has been expanded from 70 to 90 days this year. Now, hunting hours are from 12 noon to sunset on the first phase of the dove season, and the bag limit is 15 doves per day, and the reports are that there's a fair amount of doves in the area, but that's definitely going to change once they start getting shot at. They're all going to run for safety, probably go in the backyard, shoot them off the phone lines, I guess.
Yep.
But I personally prefer to hunt for fish, but on the rare occasion that I do go hunting, I like to guard the beer cooler. That's what I'm good at.
You are great at that, Jimbo, and you're also good at giving us the reports on snook and tarpon. What do you have for us inshore, bud?
Right, something I know a little bit more about. We have had quite a bit of bait starting to move along the south, moving south along the beaches, and some of these schools of finger mullet, regular-sized mullet, and pilchards have made it into the inlets and the bays, and following these schools of bait have been mostly snook and tarpon, but there's also been big jack crevalles, barracudas, and sharks mixed in. Now, once these baits make it into the bays, there's also been trout and mangrove snappers feeding on them. Now, look for the bait on the surface or any bird activity, and cast net or sabiki, a live well full of bait. Now, the sabiki will not work with the mullet, so those will have to be netted. You want to work the live baits on the outside edges of the bait school using a 3/0 to 6/0 circle hook, depending on the bait size, or cast 3 to 6 inch jerk baits or surface and swimming plugs in black and silver or green and silver. Try to match the lure size to the size of the bait that's in that area. Now, we've seen some bait in the south end. Most of it's been more towards the north end of the region, but they are going to start moving south any day now. Now, this annual bait migration should last a few more weeks. It usually peaks around Columbus Day. Now, moving offshore, along the edge, there's been lots of kingfish. Now, normally we catch more kings on the live baits, but lately trolling has been outfishing the live baits. You can use a wireline outfit or a number 2 or number 3 planer, and the planer is a little more sporty than the wire line. Now, behind the planer or wire, we're using a long piece of 60-pound monofilament leader with a pink sea witch and a bonita strip, or a 3.5 drone spoon. You'll definitely get more bites with the straight mono leader, but there's always the possibility of a cutoff, so bring along some extra sea witches and spoons. Now, most of the bites have been in the 90 to 160 feet of water, trolling at around 5 to 6 knots. And the kings have been what we call snakes in the 6 to 10 pound range, with plenty of bonitas and the occasional wahoo mixed in. Now, a little further offshore, we're still finding dolphin on a regular basis. From one day to the next, the bite has been anywhere from good to excellent, depending on how lucky we get and what we are able to find out there floating. Now, the fish have been anywhere from 8 to 15 miles offshore, and we've had a little bit of breeze the last couple days, and that's blown some of the stuff in a little closer, so they might be in more of the 8-mile range. Now, most of the fish we're finding under large patches of sargassum weed or floating debris, and there's been some bird activity also mixed in. We've been throwing small feathers around the grass, and then we've been throwing live pilchers or small blue runners and cut bonita around these larger patches of grass that we find out there. We've noticed that the fish have been staying deep, so we've been letting our bait soak a little longer than usual, and if the fish are around, they've been popping up after a few minutes. So, a lot of times you see the fish right away, but they're staying down deep for some reason, but that's always subject to change to that pattern. Now, most of the fish have been schoolie size, with a few fish up to 20 pounds caught in the last week.
Hey, Jimbo, I got a question for you about the Captain Harry's Southeast region. Hey, when you talk about soaking your baits, what exactly does that mean? Are you leaving it in there a lot longer, or you're letting the bail open and free lining them?
If we don't get a bite right away, a lot of times we want to just pick up and move on, but we're sitting there for 5-10 minutes just letting that bait swim around. Hopefully attract something from up underneath these big patches of grass or up from the depths underneath these patches of grass.
All right.
So let it sit there and do its work for you.
Great answer, Brie, and we now know that the guys on the Thomas Flyers are the king at soaking the bait.
Baits.
Yes. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the inshore hotspots from the Southeast region. Inshore, fish live mullet or pilchards along the beaches and the inlets for snook and tarpon. And then offshore, troll kingfish and pink sea witches and bonita strip combos behind the planer, 90 to 160 feet of water.
Well, this is our last episode of the season, but we'll be back next year. But if you're going to miss us, you should come out and meet Rick and I at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show on November 1st and 2nd. We're definitely going to have lots of fish talk and free stuff, like normal.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. Okay, guys, stick around for our Coastal Conservation Minute Tip, and we'll check in with the Southwest region. We'll be right back on the Chevy Florida
Insider
Fishing Report.
That's right.
Oh, dear.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Just imagine. Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. Tires Plus, total car care. The IGFA, conservation through education. Get your hands wet. Florida Outdoor Experience. Lumber Rock. Captain Harry's Fishing Supply Company.
Introducing Helmmaster, Yamaha's first fully integrated digital boat control system. With Helmmaster, you can start your outboards with a swipe of a fob and control them with a single lever. Outboard trim and steering friction adjust automatically as you accelerate and decelerate. Adjust engine speed with the touch of a button. The Helmmaster joystick provides the means to navigate and dock precisely with confidence and ease. Take control of your next vessel with Helmmaster at your command.
Casa Vieja Lodge, Guatemala. StarTron is a multifunctional fuel additive that uses enzyme technology. StarTron cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Engines powered by StarTron treated fuel start easily and run smoothly with fewer emissions and better fuel economy. StarTron restores octane to old substandard fuel. StarTron's enzyme formula enhances combustion for a more complete fuel burn. StarTron, it's not the engine, it's the fuel.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Get $7,000 total value on the Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition, or trade up to get $8,500. See your local Chevy dealer today.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission wants your help in removing lionfish from Florida waters. Interested in helping? Lionfish can be speared or caught in handheld nets, and a recreational fishing license is not required while targeting lionfish while using a pole spear, a Hawaiian sling, or handheld net, or a spearing device that is especially designed and marketed exclusively for lionfish. If you get stung, treat the wound by immersing the area in hot water for 30 to 90 minutes and seek medical attention as soon as possible. Although complete eradication is not likely to given the current range and distribution of the species, localized control is possible through consistent and sustained harvest pressure. To learn more about lionfish evasion and what you can do to help, visit myfwc.com/wildlife habitats and click on non-native species. You know, Brie?
Yes.
Brie?
What?
Those lionfish?
Yes.
They're everywhere, but have you ever eaten one?
I have.
They're absolutely
They're
delicious,
amazing.
guys. So if you see one, don't hesitate.
Kill it.
Wax him. This is the hunting show. All right, take him out of the game, cut his fins off, and put him in 350 degrees of peanut oil and call me and tell me how much you enjoyed it.
Or coconut oil. Coconut oil is really great too.
Either way you want to go. You know, Brie's gonna have the last word here. So.
I'm actually entering a lionfish tournament championship.
Oh, you're already the champion of this so-called tournament?
Probably.
I love
but
it.
it's on October 18th, and we're going scuba diving, and we're gonna kill a bunch.
All right.
Because it's the way.
Speaking of a killer, I know that the Midnight Rider, he is a killer when it comes to catching snooks. So why don't you introduce his region?
Okay, well, the new Midnight Rider is Rider?
Midnight Rider.
Midnight Rider is Mr. Ronnie, and he's gonna give the Southwest region the best report they've ever had, and you need to close this out with a bang.
Well, like always, it's been a great season. Pleasure being here. I want to thank everybody for their support, all the sponsors who support not only the show and myself, and most of all, we don't even mention it, all those guys behind the scenes who don't get that thanks they should get. Thanks a lot, guys, for a great year, for making Brie, myself, and everybody else look good. But when it comes to hunting, southwest coast of Florida has plenty of areas to include Big Cypress, Picayune Strand, J.W. Corbett, Babcock Ranch, Fish Eating Creek, just to name a few. Now, with the landscape to include palmettos, pinelands, to include wet and mesic pine flatwoods, also dry prairie ecosystems with a mixture of cypress domes, and beautiful cypress swamps, with a huge variety of game to include deer, hog, turkey, ducks, alligator, dove, and quail, to name a few. Now, not only public areas to hunt, but plenty of private land and leases. So whether you're just beginning or looking for that trophy, I strongly suggest looking at those guys at Florida Outdoor Experience. They specialize and normally get the job done. Or you can look up hunting from Naples to Charlotte County. It will give you the areas and guides depending on what you're looking for. But always remember one thing, probably the best information you can get, go to FWC.com for all the information you need, and they can supply you with the best information and do it right. But on the inshore scene, I'll tell you what, the redfish, Lossman's River to Indian Key, I would say fishing right now is outstanding. Focus on the last half of the incoming to the first half of the outgoing. Right now we're in fall, so the water temps are cooling. Fish the outer Gulf points and shorelines, but you want to concentrate on deadwood, oyster bars, and large schools of bait, also birds along the shoreline. Baits to include topwater plugs, gold spoons, and the Bass Assassin Elite Shiner and root beer, lime truce, and meat hook. But live pilchards are cut ladyfish or mullet, and you can find these fish. Once you find them, they're normally in schools. Right now, like I say, fishing is outstanding. Now, on the offshore side, the cobias. Mark a while in the Sanibel, fish a most noted structure, 18 to 30 miles out by anchoring up or drifting across the structure. Now, things have changed all the way around due to the cooler water temps and the cooler air temps. You can use a chum bag or catch some live pilchards before you head offshore and put them out in the area to draw these fish up to the top. But also, drop down live pinfish, grunts, or herring. You can also fish on the bottom. Water temps, like I said, have seem to make a difference, and the fish seem to be bunching back up. Or you can run and gun, but I strongly suggest having patience. Right now, the reports I've got, cobias are starting to group back up into schools, and once located, should be no problem catching them. Also, another bite due to the cooler water temps, king mackerel. Now, we're getting scatter reports from Boca Grande and Sanibel. Here we are, 8 to 15 miles out fishing wrecks, especially where there are large schools of herring and Spanish mackerel. These king mackerel seem to be below, and also seems, like I said, due to the cooler water temps, these fish are coming from the north back down to the south. Large lip plugs, blue and silver, black and silver, or trolling silver spoons, and drifting live herring or blue runners. Right now, these king mackerel average 7 to 15 pounds, and it seems more and more are starting to show up. And anybody who's got an open day up in my end of the region, Captain Rick Murphy, Jeffrey Page, and most of the guys on the show will be up at the IFA in Sarasota up at 10th Street. Come on out and meet the Yamaha Pro staff and the guys from the Chevy Florida Fishing Report, and come out and have a great day and watch us catch some redfish.
Hey, Ronnie, before you go, Brie and I have
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ronnie. Happy birthday to you.
Good job, Ronnie. Thanks for all your hard work this year, buddy.
Happy birthday.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, let's take a look at the CCA Southwest Region hotspots and look at and see what Florida Outdoor Experience has to say for us this week. Inshore, snook, Punta Gorda to Cape Coral, late night incoming along the docks and seawalls using lip plugs and soft plastic shrimp. And then offshore, red groupers, Indian Key to Gordon's Pass, 45 to 55 feet of water along the hard bottom, using cut baits and live pinfish, Brie.
I didn't know you could sing too.
I can't.
Oh, I
It's
know.
horrible.
I was kidding.
I can really sing good when I'm listening to Tim McGraw.
Oh, me too.
Or Darren Ruckus.
Darius.
Darren.
There. No. The reports have been reported, guys, but we still have more to tell you about what to expect from Rick and I until we see you all again in 2015, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Get $7,000 total value on the Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition, or trade up to get $8,500. See your local Chevy dealer today.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline four-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at the office. But down here in the Florida Keys, we have to disagree. Because with over 200 of the world's best charter boat captains and guides, there's no such thing as a bad day of fishing. The Florida Keys and Key West.
Jackpot! Jackpot. Jackpot.
Jackpot?
Jackpot. 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 Jackpot.
Get ready for the jackpot family of scratch-off games from the Florida Lottery. With a top prize of $2 million, jackpots will happen. Will you be ready for yours?
I got
The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Thanks for tuning in to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with our captains, contests, and appearances. You never have to miss a show. You can find full episodes of the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report right on your YouTube channel. And make sure to check out our website for fishing reports in your region. Visit www.ChevyFloridaInsiderFishingReport.com for everything you need to know to stay hooked up.
You know, Dave, as I said a little earlier, 286 episodes, 10 years.
It's a long time, man. We were young people when we started this.
Exactly.
I was a very young man, very good looking.
And the other thing,
back then.
Dave, is we got to thank all the crew.
Yeah.
We got to, Brie, you did
we
a
don't
good
have
job.
to, but I guess
Dave,
we
you did a
could.
good job. But more importantly, we got the girls in the office, Kathy and Christy.
Yeah.
And
They
then
send me emails,
we have
tell
the
me I'm not
whole
doing my
crew
stuff
here.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Gotta
we have
love
the
it.
whole crew
There
here.
they are.
Look at 'em
inside
all.
the studio, and look at them.
There's so many people that are involved with this show, guys. You have no idea.
There's
You've
a-
never been to our
it's
show
a
before.
That takes most of the
family.
day right there, that makeup on Rick's head.
You know, there's 34
Maria.
people a
Gotta get
week
the
that it
shine
takes
off.
to do this show. And you know, when you
Look at 'em all.
produce 26 shows a season, and the content each week is changing,
Yeah.
it's a lot to do.
There's a lot of
And we
people
can't
in
forget
there.
Thomas, who made this beautiful set.
Absolutely. So we can't, you know, the big thing is we got to make sure that everybody knows how wonderful these people have done it, and they've made it such a great job. But if you want to keep up with what we're all doing, you can certainly go to our
Facebook
website, Facebook's page, as well as you can follow us all on Instagram, Ali,
Twitter.
as well
Official
as Brie,
Insider.
Official Insider,
Captain Rick
Florida
Murphy.
Outdoor Experience,
There's so
Gray
many.
Drummond, Captain Rick Murphy, Dave. You can get
I'm
a
just
hold of
Dave
him
Ferrell.
over at Bonnier.
And we're going to be back
Dave
next year,
Ferrell.
guys. Don't worry. We're coming
Ali,
back in 2015.
You're always
so
welcome
much,
here,
really.
Gray.
You're wonderful.
You know you're
Thank
the
you.
brother that I
Thanks.
never had, man.
I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having
I
me.
appreciate you so much.
We'll see you
He's
next
gonna kill me a
year.
turkey.
So much for watching.
Bye,
Come and see us at the
everybody.
boat
Make it
show in
happen.
November in Fort
We'll be
Lauderdale.
around. We're
We'll
not
be looking
leaving.
forward to seeing you.
It's a cake.